My name is Rhapsody, his name is Lollash, and welcome back to How to Beat Slay the Spire. How's it going, mon frere?
It's going well, Rhapsody. How are you?
Could scarcely be better, especially because we're going to be playing Ironclad, who, to be fair, I've started to get way more attached to recently. Over the 450 hours I played of this, 450? 400 and... Nope, 545. That last 100 just happened like that. My character preferences keep swinging back and forth, and I'm all about that Ironclad right now, so I'm so pleased.
For me, the Silent has a lot more unusual deck archetypes than the Ironclad, and I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he also... It is much easier to hard counter an Silent deck than it is to hard counter an Ironclad deck. There are not many Ironclad decks that just run into a wall in the way that some Silent decks do. So I prefer the Ironclad for that reason.
That's true, but I think for me, two of the things that really change it for me are I really like thin decks. And as much as when we started this series, I like thin decks, I've only gone thinner. I'm consistently running 5 to 15 max decks. But the Silent starts with 2 extra cards. So you start with 12 versus 10. So thinning your deck down to get a consistent draw on your win engine oftentimes is more difficult with the Silent. But then again, the Silent also has more draw cards, blah, blah, blah. Right? It does balance out a little bit, but thinning down the deck is a little bit more difficult for the Silent due to those 2 extra cards. But more than that, the Silent can't do the risk-reward strategy that I really like to do in the early game of just how many elites can I get on the first floor? Because I'm going to fight every single one of them. Because if you get the Gremlin Knob and you haven't got, dash, put your head between your knees and kiss your ass goodbye. It's just not happening.
Pretty much. All right, let's have a look at our map and see what we've got going on here. We do have early shop options and later shop options as well.
We've got a 2 elite with a bunch of question marks or a 3 elite with fewer question marks but an extra rest. And we could take an early shop beforehand. So that would be 2 question marks, shop, elite, question mark rest, question mark elite, and then dive into another. We also get the choice at this space whether or not we want to go for that elite or just 2 questions.
The third elite, yeah. I think that's the correct route. And in that case, I would be very tempted to go the curse route here.
My dude, totally no. Why? Okay.
Because 350 gold in the first shop means we could pick up a run-defining relic, like a proper rare relic.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if we only go with 100 gold, we might find ourselves shortchanged. And if we have to skip over... Right now, my brain is not processing and thinking about relics that I would really like to see. But there are relics that in that first shop, if you saw it for 320 gold and you had 280 gold, you would just cry because...
While there are relics like that, in a path where we're going to be going for 3 elites, I think it's much more reliable that we go for a high impact card. I'll take a Carnage in the first shop if I'm going for 3 elites immediately after it, rather than a relic, because relics less often will strongly define your offense, which you need for the early elites. Also, adding a curse to our deck for 150 gold, consider that we are almost in every single circumstance going to remove it, is going to cost us 75 on the first removal, but over the course of the run will cost us at least 150 due to increasing the cost of our further removals. But even more than that, that first removal, we can't remove something else we want to remove, like a basic strike or a basic defend, because we got to remove this curse now. Especially if it's pain, normality, regret.
Stupid thin deck, daddy. Alright, take 100 gold then. And if we see a really great relic that would define a really fun and exciting run, chat, I want you to yell at Rhapsody.
Oh, don't worry, they'll do that regardless. I've actually bound myself to have to pick up every dead branch that I see at the moment. So if we do see dead branch, well, guess what we're doing?
Yeah, but dead branch is a fun Whirlwind, 100%. Is a really fun deck.
Dead Branch is a really fun deck, but oh god, this is the same argument I made before applies to this.
It does, but Doubt is not a bad curse. I would have taken it there.
Doubt is a bad curse though, especially in a deck that has Whirlwind. 3 damage X times?
You don't have to cast it, Rhapsody.
This, like, again, where I used to go, I'll take the curse and the 250 gold, I'll take the curse and the 150, and I'll take the relic and the regret. Here I now take max HP.
Yeah, I'm okay with you taking max HP here. Regret's an awful curse.
It is real garbage.
But I would have
Singing
taken
Bowl!
it. Ah, Rhapsody with his thin deck.
Thin deck
Shenanigans.
daddy! Thin deck daddy!
See,
We can make this one of the really cool deck archetypes that exclusively the Ironclad can do. Because it's Strength Whirlwind. You literally just flex a bunch of times a turn, then you Whirlwind and kill everything on turn 1.
yeah, right. Haven't we done a deck like that before? Take the Singing Bowl.
I don't
Fine.
think we have, because we've done the sword boomerang version of it. Alright, we would have done 2 more damage with 2 strikes there, but I wanted to play the one.
Rhapsody, what are you doing?
Playing wrong, evidently.
I also don't know why you didn't just bash him then. Bash him
Because
and
I
take
don't want to
damage.
take any more than 6 damage if I can avoid it.
You're going to take more than 6 damage in this fight.
It really depends. Sometimes it gives you the opportunity to not to. Alright.
Sorry, what was that?
Sometimes it gives you the opportunity to not to.
I'm not opposed to slotting a Clash into this deck
Yeah.
for the early combats.
Agreed, because like Whirlwind's gonna be great against the Sentinels, but we're gonna want to clash against pretty much anyone else.
Like this guy, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, we've just had a perfect draw.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Nearly a perfect draw.
Yeah, if that
Close
defend
enough.
was a strike, we would have a slightly better draw. We are, because we're going to have to only play defenses in the turns where we have the clash, and other than that, this is DPS race, we're going to get the full effect out of the regen potion by using it now.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Strike. This is a DPS race because of the Siphon Soul, which is super garbage and annoying to deal with.
I mean, the good news is that we are well ahead of the curve here.
Bash with
the-
2 defends. Oof.
I know, it's so sad, but you defend Clash Whirlwind here.
What? Bash Whirlwind. Get the vulnerability on for next turn. Defend, Clash Whirlwind is 19 damage. Bash Whirlwind is 15, but it gives you the vulnerability for next turn. So it's 4 less damage, but as long as we have a bunch of strikes in our deck like we do, it's more damage next turn.
You only get +2 damage per strike, but yeah, right. Go. Because you gotta remember, we're gonna be -1 strength next turn.
Yeah, but the thing is, these are going to do 5, and they go up to 7 with the strike, which is enough to kill in 3. So that was exactly
Certainly is.
necessary.
Hey, old coin.
Old coin,
Money.
gain 300 gold. Beautiful. I would take a Thunderclap here, to be honest. I actually really like the AoE vulnerability application in the deck that has the Whirlwind. But more than that, it allows us to cut the bash.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think Thunderclap is a fine pick here.
So,
Greet it.
yeah, beautiful. There is something I do want to talk about with this, which is if you find the relic, like we've just done with the Runic Dodecahedron found, and then you fight the elite afterwards, the elite will not give you a relic. That's the relic.
Yeah, so once you've found the relic, you can just leave.
Yeah.
It's not worth sticking around looking for a little bit of gold.
It's so little, like it's 50 gold.
Yeah, it's really not much.
So first upgrade should be
Whirlwind first?
Yeah.
Yep. Because that takes us to a 24 damage first turn Whirlwind, which is enough to clear all of the AoE trash. Yeah, shovel.
You can now dig for looted rest sites, which is further enforcing our thin deck daddy status, right? Because we Singing Bowl to reject the cards for maximum HP, which also means we have fewer cards in our deck that we need to upgrade at rest sites, which gives us the opportunity to dig at rest sites instead to gain more relics. It's good.
This is definitely turning out to be a Rhapsody run.
Oh, it's about time.
What do you mean about time? We haven't had a proper thick flex. Yeah. We haven't had a proper thick Lollash deck for a while.
That is true. Full stop. I think we might actually be able to perfect these because we've still got Flex, Whirlwind, Clash in our deck. So I think actually like double defend, strike the highest HP one.
I think that's correct. Because next turn we actually have 34 damage just with Whirlwind Explosive Potion. And if we get the Flex, then we've got enough to kill all of them.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, due to the artifacting, we can't use the Thunderclap first.
Ah, right, of course, they're all artifacts.
Yeah. Omamori, negate the next two curses you obtain. Beautiful. Thin deck. Usually I would take a dropkick in this, but having Flex and Whirlwind in the same hand is too important to risk having a dropkick on a turn where enemies aren't vulnerable, even though we have a Bash and a Thunderclap right now.
It's really not necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the dropkick deck is a different deck to the deck that we're building right now.
Yeah.
And it's a good card in a deck that has a lot of vulnerability, but it's just not necessary for us. Win. Do you take one copy of Limit Break?
I think you do, because we take the next Flex regardless, and it's a nice way to hold on to our strength.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a copy of Limit Break is worth it in this deck. From here, probably all we want to do is cut cards and pick up maybe one Heavy Blade. Or one Sword Boomerang.
One Sword Boomerang.
We can go for the Sword Boomerang's a great card. We can go for the Elite here, for sure.
Sword Boomerang is a great card, but we've done that. Been there, done that. 24 takes you down. What's the likelihood we kill you the turn after? Actually, not that unlikely.
It's pretty bloody likely if we bash Whirlwind.
What? Why would we bash Whirlwind?
For the vulnerability for next turn.
I was thinking more like if we didn't get the defense, if we didn't get the offense to kill the Slaver this turn, we would get the defense to protect ourselves until we could kill it the turn after. Which didn't end up amounting. All right, your play was correct.
It's fine.
Damn weakness. Now, we could technically try and take Inflame because we have Limit Break in the deck, but I don't think we put it in the deck because the initial play of it is just so heavy. And the initial play is something that you have to consider so much more heavily in this deck because this deck wins fights on turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, I don't think we need it. I think Limit Break serves the exact same purpose with a Flex. In fact, it's better.
Yep.
I would rather draw Flex Limit Break than I would... that was another, like...
Same opening.
Yeah. Yeah, I would much prefer to draw Flex Limit Break than to draw an Inflame Plus.
Alright. Wee bit of damage there, but we are fine. Juzu Bracelet. Regular enemy combat to no longer encounter in question mark rooms, which increases the likelihood of triggering certain events on the next floor, like, I don't know, vampires.
Well, we've already passed Blood Vial, though.
Yeah, but we've got max HP out the wazoo, courtesy of the Singing Bowl. Double tap is really, really good in a deck like this because it double taps the Clash easily, just for the cost of the double tap. But double tapping
Whirlwind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the double tap on Whirlwind is super important because the X cost is decided when you cast the Whirlwind and it duplicates that X cost. So if you cast a Whirlwind after a double tap for 3, both Whirlwinds will be cast for 3. This contrasts heavily to Fiendfire, which decides its effect during activation, not at cast. and as a result, Fiendfire will burn your hand for the first one, and unless you have, you know, like Dark Embrace or Dead Branch to refill your hand, the second, the double-tapped Fiendfire is going to exhaust 0 cards and deal 0 damage.
Yeah, I think we pick up a copy of Double Tap because it's super rare as well. Now, I would smith either the Flex or the Double Tap, probably.
I'm probably leaning more towards the Flex.
Yeah, I think either are good options. I think that Flex is more likely to be useful every time we draw it, whereas Double Tap is... There are situations where Double Tap won't be useful, whereas Flex is always playable. So I think we probably upgrade Flex first and then upgrade Double Tap later.
Yep. Agreed.
Didn't get a lot of card removal on this floor, which is unfortunate.
It is indeed 100% agreed on that front. Really would have liked Flex in that hand. Oh, hello, Flex. Fancy seeing you here. Not gonna perfect this boss, though.
Nope.
Bash Whirlwind, I'm thinking, just because we can't let you get to the second in flame, otherwise we're dead.
Yeah, no, you Whirlwind here for sure. We need to race this guy a little bit.
Uh-huh. Especially we need to race, because those burns being put in our deck are going to exactly deactivate our Clash, which is just tragic.
This could be our quickest Slay the Spire run yet.
It could be. Run 9, part 1 of 1, 8 minutes long. Oh, I think we actually need to really drastically think these turns through, because you're about to attack again next turn, and I think either that or that is the 7x2. I think we need to bash Whirlwind.
We need to bash... Yeah, we need to bash Whirlwind here.
Flex Whirlwind next hand, let's go. We need to play a defensive card this turn, otherwise we're dead.
Yeah, I think it's defend, flex, strike.
Really? Not double tap this strike? Yeah. I mean, it's 21 damage, it's 42. That takes my enemy down to 30 HP 40 HP remaining. Which means 30 damage plus the explosive potion kills.
But it also sets us at what? Like, we take 9 damage, we're at 3 HP.
Mm-hmm.
Which means 2 burns kills us if we don't play a defensive card next turn. Like, if we don't draw enough damage.
That's true. There's 2 burns in there. I think we have to go the double tap strike.
All right.
I think we just lose if we play the defend and try and play this slow.
I think we have to race it. You're right. It feels bad though. I'm scared.
I'm terrified.
I'm scared for our next turn.
12 damage. I mean, Thunderclap 8, vulnerability, and then this is 12, 18, 18 by 2s. Yeah.
36. Yeah, we got it. That was very, very, very close, though.
No, we had that the entire time. It's fine. No flies on us.
I think this is a skipperini.
It
Strength
is
gain decks don't want bludgeon.
Exactly. It is a skip, but it is worth noting, we are looking at the brutality and going, I mean, it helps us cycle through our deck, get flex with other cards. But also, impact. Same reason we didn't take Inflame. It does nothing the turn you play it, and we need things that do things the turn you play them.
Also, we've got Runic Dodecahedron, so we want to try and maintain high HP where possible.
You know the shitty thing about this?
I
think we have to take the Velvet Choker.
No, we can't take the Velvet Choker.
Yeah, we can. Because we don't upgrade the double tap, right? Because we're looking just to cast Whirlwind after the double tap, so that's 3 casts. Flex before it makes it 4. Limit Break makes it 5. We need the extra energy so that Whirlwind can do another carry of its own damage plus flex. Especially against the AoE on next floor, we're going to need the extra energy on the Whirlwind. Every point of energy in a deck that is double tapping a Whirlwind is actually 2 extra triggers of Whirlwind.
I know. In Magic Christmas Land, where you always get double tap and Whirlwind together, I would be very tempted to Astrolabe this.
I've actually been taking...
tempted to Astrolabe it.
So I've been taking Astrolabe in a lot of aggressive decks recently. I've just been like, let's remove our 3 defends, and then sometimes we get like 2 upgraded flexes and a limit break. And other times, we get like, 2 clotheslines. And it's like, oh great.
Which would still be better than defend in our deck. I would Astrolabe away Bash and 2 defends here. Bash is too expensive, doesn't fit into our deck. Defends are blocking out our clashes. And we don't like playing them anyway. I would Astrolabe away 2 defends and the Bash. It kills 3 cards we definitely don't want in our deck and gives us 3 cards that we either might want in our deck or we're going to cut anyway.
I agree.
I think Velvet Choker's too risky.
While I entirely agree that is a really valuable thing to do, and I am not disrespecting the Astrolabe at all, I think that if we don't take this energy and we don't get energy after the next boss, assuming we make it there, we lose. This deck suddenly doesn't do enough damage because it doesn't have the ability to Whirlwind for enough.
Well, so here's the thing, right? We already have Runic Dodecahedron.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're already Whirlwinding for 40 while we're at full HP. That's a lot of damage
Sure,
to be Whirlwinding for on AoE fights.
Sure, but how reliable is Runic Dodecahedron going to be for us? I mean, it's more reliable for the Ironclad than the Silent because you heal after battle, but it's still not the huge reliable pinnacle that we need of extra energy. And if anything, that makes me more resolute to get the Velvet Choker because it means our opening turn is going to be 5 energy. 1 Whirlwind will kill almost anything we encounter. I don't think we're going to encounter the negative of play 6 cards a turn unless we pick up an offering. I don't think we're going to encounter it that often. And even if we do get an offering, we're probably going to draw into Whirlwind. See, Whirlwind is really, really good. Or rather, Velvet Choker is really, really good in decks that have high cost attacks, right? Like Bludgeon.
Yeah. Or X cost attacks where you can dump your energy. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna let you pick Velvet Choker here because you're right. Extra energy is super valuable in those sorts of decks.
Mm-hmm.
But if we ever take additional damage that leads to our death because we couldn't play a 6th card, you know, I'm gonna laugh at you, right?
Oh, I know.
It's gonna be a thing that happens.
To be fair, there have been many times over the course of the series where you have threatened to laugh at me. And I don't know if that many of them have been realized, which is something I'm quite proud of.
Luck. It's called luck, Rhapsody.
It eventually turns, I understand that much. That said, every single time we kill an enemy due to that extra energy, I'm gonna laugh at you. Fair?
No, because I agreed with your assessment. I think it's too risky. Anyway, we should do the thing.
Oh, I thought you were going to do the outro that time. I was going to let you take it away.
No, I'm not going to do it. This isn't my channel. Do I look like the professional one here?
Great.
I'm just here to argue with you.
I got to do all the... Fine. Well, my name has been Rhapsody. Hurt my feelings. His name's been Lollash. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves. This has been the How to Beat Slay the Spire series. We will be back in like 30 minutes from when this was uploaded for the next part of this episode. See you then.
Bye, guys.